परमात्मने नमः। अथ चतुर्थोऽध्यायः ज्ञानयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच इमं विवस्वते योगं प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययम् विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्। श्लोक 1 पदविभजन। इमं विवस्वते योगं प्रोक्तवान् अहम् अव्ययं विवस्वान् मनवे प्राह मनुः इक्ष्वाकवे अब्रवीत्। Vivashwan here means Surya, sun, right, Lord. Sri Bhagavan said, meaning Sri Krishna said, I revealed this immortal yoga to Vivashwan, sun god. Vivashwan conveyed it to Manu, his son, and Manu imparted it to his son Ikshvaku. Shloka 2. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashtah parantapa. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayah viduhu saha kalena iha mahata yogaha nashtah parantapa. Shloka 2 meaning thus transmitted in succession from father to son, Arjuna, this yoga remained known to the Rajarshis, royal sages. Through long lapse of time, this yoga got lost to the world. Sa evayam maya tedya yogah proktah puratanaha Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. Saha eva ayam maya te adya yogaha proktaha puratanaha bhaktaha asi me sakha cha iti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. Adya means today. The same ancient yoga, which is the supreme secret, has this day been imparted to you by me because you are my devotee and friend. Bhaktosime. Sakha cheti. So, devotee and friend. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvatah kathametadvijaniyam त्वमादौ प्रोक्तवानिति. अपरं भवतः जन्म परं जन्म विवस्वतः कथम् एतत् विजानीयां त्वम् आदौ प्रोक्तवान् इति. Vijaniya means something that we should know or we can learn. Arjuna said, you are of recent origin while the birth of Vivashwan dates back to the remote antiquity. How then am I to believe that you imparted this yoga at the beginning of the creation? Arjuna doubts Krishna here and says, how do you know this? Sri Bhagawanuvacha Bahuni me vyatitani Janmani tava charjuna Tanyaham veda sarvani Natvam vetha parantapa. Bahuni me vyatitani Janmani tava cha arjuna Tani aham veda sarvani Na tvam vetha parantapa. Sri Bhagavan said, Arjuna, you and I have passed through many births. I remember them all. You do not remember. O chastier of the force, means Arjuna. Parantapa, okay. Ajo, Shloka 6. Ajo pisannavyayatma bhutanamishvaropi san prakritim swamadhisthaya Sambhavam Mayaya. Ajaha api san avyayatma bhutanam ishvaraha api san prakritim swam adhishthaya sambhavami atmamayaya. Shloka 6 meaning, Though birthless and immortal and the Lord of all beings, I manifest myself through my own yoga maya, that is divine potency, keeping my nature, Prakriti, under control. Shloka 7. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिः भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदा आत्मानं सृजामि अहम्. So glanihi means harm, getting harm. Abhyuthana means increasing or vriddhi, right? That is the meaning. So Arjuna, whenever righteousness is on the decline, unrighteousness is in the ascendant, then I body myself forth. Shloka 8. Paritrāṇāya sadhūnām vināṣāya ca duṣkrūtāṃ dharma samsthāpanārthāya sambhavāmi yuge yuge. Paritrāṇāya sadhūnām vināṣāya ca duṣkrūtāṃ dharma samsthapanārthāya sambhavāmi yuge yuge. So, the meaning of Shloka 8, for the protection of the virtuous, for the extirpation of the evildoers, and for establishing Dharma, righteousness, on a firm footing, I manifest myself from age to age. Shloka 9. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन. जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यः वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनः जन्म न एति माम् एति सः अर्जुन. वेत्ति means knowing. Shloka 9 meaning, Arjuna, my birth and activities are divine. He who knows this in reality is not reborn on leaving his body but comes to me. Shloka 10. Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha manmaya mamupashritaha bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavamagataha. Vitaraga bhayakrodhaha manmaya mam upashritaha bahavo jnanatapasa bahavaha jnanatapasa putaha madbhavam agataha. Shloka 10 meaning, completely rid of attachment, fear and anger, wholly absorbed in me, depending on me, and purified by the penance of wisdom, many have become one with me even in the past. Shloka 11. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tamstathaiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushyaः partha sarvashah. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tan tatha eva bhajami aham mama vartma anuvartante manushyaः partha sarvashah. Shloka 11 meaning, Arjuna, howsoever men seek me, even so do I respond to them. For all men follow my path in every way. Shloka 12. Kangshantah karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha kshipram himanushe loke सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा. कांक्षन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्ते इह देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिः भवति कर्मजा. So Shloka 12 meaning, in this world of human beings, men seeking the fruition of their activities worship the gods, for success born of actions follows quickly. Shloka 13. चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्य कर्तारमव्ययम् चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारम् अपि मां विद्धि अकर्तारम् अव्ययम्. So the meaning of this shloka 14, the four orders of society, for example, namely Brahmana, the Kshatriya, Vaishya, the Shudra, were created by me, classifying them according to the gunas predominant in each and apportioning corresponding duties to them. Through the originator of this creation, know me, the immortal Lord, to be a non doer. God is a non doer. Shloka 14. न मां कर्माणि लिम्पन्ति न मे कर्मफले स्पृहा इति मां योऽभिजानाति कर्मभिर्न स बध्यते. न मां कर्माणि लिम्पन्ति न मे कर्मफले स्पृहा इति मां यः अभिजानाति कर्मभिः न सह बध्यते. So the shloka 14 meaning, since I have no craving for the fruit of actions, actions do not taint me. Even he who thus knows me in reality is not bound by action. Shloka 15. Evam ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतम्. एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वैः अपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्म एव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतम्. Meaning of shloka 15. Having known thus, action was performed even by the ancient seekers for liberation. Therefore, do you also perform actions as have been performed by the ancients from antiquity. Shloka 16. Kim karma kimakarmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshyami यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्. किं कर्म किम् अकर्म इति कवयः अपि अत्र मोहिताः तत् ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यत् ज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे अशुभात्. कवयः अपि means intelligent people, buddhi mantulu. Right? Shloka 16 meaning, what is action and what is inaction? Karma, akarma, action and inaction. Even men of intelligence are puzzled over this question. Therefore, I shall expound to you the truth about action, knowing which you will be freed from its evil effects, that is, the shackles of karma. Shloka 17. कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः. कर्मणः हि अपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणः च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणः गतिः. 17 shloka 17 meaning, bodhavyam means something that we can know or something that we can understand, right? So that is bodhavyam. Truth about the action must be known, and the truth of inaction must also be known. Even so, the truth about prohibited action, which is vikarma, must be known, for mysterious are the ways of action. Kahana means mysterious. Okay, Shloka 18. कर्मण्य कर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्न कर्म कृत्. कर्मणि अकर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः सः बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु सः युक्तः कृत्स्न कर्म कृत्. So the meaning of shloka 18 here, he who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is wise among men. He is a yogi who is performed who has performed all actions. Shloka 19. Yasya sarve samarambhaha कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पण्डितं बुधाः यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तम् आहुः पण्डितं बुधाः यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः okay, so the meaning of shloka 19 is even the wise call him a sage whose undertakings are all free from desire and sankalpa, thoughts of the world, and whose actions are burned by the fire of wisdom. Kama sankalpa varjitaha. Okay, that is the meaning of that. Shloka 20. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. Sorry, one second. Shloka 20 Padavibhajana. Tyaktva कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तः निराश्रयः कर्मणि अभिप्रवृत्तः अपि न एव किञ्चित् करोति सः. Shloka 20 meaning, he who having totally given up the attachment to actions and their fruit no longer depends on anything in the world and is ever content does nothing at all, though fully engaged in action. Shloka 21. निराशीर्यत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त सर्वपरिग्रहः शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्. निराशीः यत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त सर्वपरिग्रहः शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन् न आप्नोति किल्बिषम्. So 21 shloka meaning, having subdued his mind and body and having given up all thoughts of enjoyment, free from craving, he who performs sheer bodily action does not incur sin. Shloka 22. यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टः द्वन्द्वातीतो विमत्सरः समसिद्धावसिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते. यदृच्छा लाभ संतुष्टः द्वन्द्वातीतः विमत्सरः समः सिद्धौ असिद्धौ च कृत्वा अपि न निबध्यते. So shloka 22 meaning, the karma yogi who is contented with whatever is got unsought, so without asking whatever is received, is free from jealousy and has transcended all pairs of opposites like joy and grief, dvandvatito, and is balanced in success and failure, is not bound by his action. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanaवस्थित चेतसः यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते. गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञाया आचरतः कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते. So the meaning of shloka 23 is, all his actions got dissolved entirely, who is free from attachment and has no identification with the body and free from the feeling of mind, whose mind is established in the knowledge of self and who works merely for the sake of sacrifice. Yajnaya charatah karma, for the sake of sacrifice. Yajna is mentioned as sacrifice in English. Shloka 24. Brahmarpanam brahma havihi ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना. Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havihi, Brahmagnav, Brahmanahutam, Brahma Eva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. So this shloka talks about like how Brahma, Parabrahman, universal consciousness is in all actions related to the yajna, right? So the meaning of shloka 24, in the practice of seeing Brahma everywhere as a form of sacrifice. So Brahma as yajna or sacrifice. Brahma is the ladle with which the oblation is poured into the fire. Brahma again is the oblation, which is the offering. Brahma is the fire. Brahma itself is the sacrificer. So the person who is doing is also Brahma. And so Brahma itself constitutes the act of pouring the oblation into the fire, and the action of doing that is also Brahma. And finally, Brahma is the goal to be achieved by him who is absorbed in Brahma as the act of the sacrifice. Again, Yoga Purusha or Yajna Purusha. Everything is Brahma. So basically, this shows the all pervading nature of Brahma. Shloka 25. दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते ब्रह्माज्ञावपरे यज्ञं यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति दैवम् एव अपरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते ब्रह्माग्नौ अपरे यज्ञं यज्ञेन एव उपजुह्वति. So Upajuhvati meaning who perform it, right? Okay. Shloka 25 meaning other yogis duly offer sacrifice only in the form of worship to gods, while others perform the sacrifice by offering the self by the self itself in the fire of Brahma. Shloka 26. श्रोत्रादीनीन्द्रियाण्यन्ये संयमाग्निषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन् विषयानन्ये इन्द्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति. श्रोत्रादीनि इन्द्रियाणि अन्ये संयमाग्निषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन् विषयान् अन्ये इन्द्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति. Juhvati is the oblation, the form of doing the yajna. Others offer as sacrifice their senses of hearing, etc., into the fires of self-discipline. Other yogis again offer the sound and other objects of perception into the fires of senses. Can't even imagine like some of these concepts, 27. सर्वाणीन्द्रियकर्माणि प्राणकर्माणि चापरे आत्मसंयमयोगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते. सर्वाणि इन्द्रियकर्माणि प्राणकर्माणि च अपरे आत्मसंयमयोगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते. Almost same as the shloka. Meaning of it is others sacrifice all the functions of their senses, sarvani indriya karmani, and the functions of the vital airs, prana, into the fire of yoga in the form of self-control, kindled by wisdom. Okay, shloka 28. Dravya yajnastapo yajnaha yoga yajnastatha pare swadhyayajnana yajnascha यतयः संशितव्रताः. द्रव्ययज्ञाः तपोयज्ञाः योगयज्ञाः तथा अपरे स्वाध्यायज्ञानयज्ञाः च यतयः संशितव्रताः. So this leads to the Jnana Yajna, like which is probably more applicable to us and our generation. Some of them do Dravya Yajna, right, which is doing the Yajna with material possessions. We sometimes participate in it. But there are other forms of yajnas, but the best one is Svadhyaya Yajna. So learning something on our own to increase the knowledge, right? So that is the last part of it. Some perform sacrifice with material possessions. Some other offer sacrifice in the shape of austerities. Others sacrifice through the practice of yoga, while some striving souls, observing austere vows, perform sacrifice in the shape of wisdom through the study of sacred texts. So, any sacred text, study, learn, listen, observe is part of the Swadhya Yajnana Yajnascha. Right? So, that part. Shloka 29 and 30 are together. अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे प्राणापानगतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे नियताहाराः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति सर्वेऽप्येते यज्ञविदः यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः. Padavibhajana of both. Apane juhvati pranam prane apanam tatha apare pranapanagati rudhva pranayam parayanaha apare niyataharaha pranan praneshu juhvati sarve api yete yajnavitaha yajnakshapita kalmashaha. Meaning of both the shloka 29 and 30 together. Other yogis offer the act of exhalation into that of inhalation. Even so, others the act of inhalation into that of exhalation, breathing related. There are still others who give the practice of pranayama, breath control, who, having regulated their diet and controlled the processes of exhalation and inhalation both, pour their vital airs into the vital airs themselves. Okay, all these have their sins consumed away by the sacrifice and understand the meaning of sacrificial worship. Shloka 31. यज्ञशिष्टामृतभुजः यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनम् नायं लोकोऽस्त्य यज्ञस्य कुतोऽन्यः कुरु सत्तमा. यज्ञशिष्टामृतभुजः यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनं न अयं लोकः अस्ति अयज्ञस्य कुतः अन्यः कुरु सत्तम. Shloka 31 meaning. So this is explaining that after yajna, whatever is left over, eat that, right? I mean, don't just eat anything, whatever, right? I mean, randomly. Eat the prasadam after the yajna or the sacrifice. Yajna, Arjuna, yogis who enjoy the nectar that has been left over after the performance of sacrifice attain eternal Brahma. To the man who does not offer sacrifice, even this world is not happy, and the sacrifice can be anything, not just food. I mean, any type of sacrifice, right? So, to the man who does not offer sacrifice, even this world is not happy. How then can the other world be happy? Kutonya Kurusattam. So, एवं बहुविधः यज्ञाः वितता ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विद्धितान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे. श्लोक 32 पदविभजन. एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः वितताः ब्रह्मणः मुखे कर्मजान् विद्धि तान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे. Shloka 32 meaning. Many such forms of sacrifice have been set forth in detail in the Vedas. Know them all as involving the action of mind, senses, and body. Thus, knowing the truth about them, you shall be freed from the bondage of action through their performance. Shloka 33. श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयात् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते. Beautiful. All the karmas will lead into jnana, right? They end there. Shreyan dravyamayat yajnat jnana yajnah parantapah sarvam karma akhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. The meaning of Shloka 33, Arjuna, sacrifice through knowledge is superior to the sacrifice performed through material things. For all actions without exception culminate in knowledge, O son of Kunti. Shloka 34. तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः. तत् विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनः तत्त्वदर्शिनः. This shloka tells how to obtain that jnana, how to learn from a guru, right? How do we actually obtain that knowledge? We are talking about knowledge, right? So the meaning of that is understand the true nature of that knowledge by approaching seers of truth, rishis, gurus, right? Jnanis. If you prostrate at their feet, touch their feet, ask for sharing the knowledge, render them service, and question them with an open and guileless heart, those wise seers of truth will instruct you in that knowledge. Pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So all those are needed in order to understand and get that upadesha from the jnanis or the teachers. Shloka 34. यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् एवं यास्यसि पाण्डव येन भूतान्यशेषेण द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन्यथो मयि यत् ज्ञात्वा न पुनः मोहम् एवं यास्यसि पाण्डव येन भूतानि अशेषेण द्रक्ष्यसि आत्मनि अथो मयि. So Drakshasi meaning able to see, right? So Shloka 35 meaning Arjuna, when you have achieved enlightenment, ignorance will delude you no more. In the light of that knowledge, you will see the entire creation first within your own self and then in me, the oversoul. Shloka 36. अपि चेदसि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि. अपि चेत् असि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेन एव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि. Padmakarji teaches the meaning of this really beautifully on how we have to live this life and cross this ocean of samsara using the jnana plava, which is the jnana plavena, which is with the knowledge, the boat, right? I mean, the jnana is the boat through which we can cross this ocean. He explains really beautifully. The meaning of this is even if you were the most sinful of all sinners, this knowledge alone would carry you like a raft across all your sins. Shloka 37. Yathai dhamsi samidhognihi bhasmasat kurute arjuna jnanagnis sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. यथा ये धांसि समिद्धः अग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. So the meaning of Shloka 37. For as the blazing fire reduces the fuel to ashes, Arjuna, even so the fire of knowledge turns all actions to ashes. Shloka 38. नहि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति. न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रम् इह विद्यते तत् स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेन आत्मनि विन्दति. So the meaning of Shloka 38 here is, in this world there is no purifier as great as the knowledge. He who has attained the purity of heart through prolonged practice of karma yoga automatically sees the light of truth in the self in course of time. Shloka 39. श्रद्धावान् लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति. श्रद्धावान् लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेण अधिगच्छति. Achirena means immediately. So, Shloka 39 meaning, he who has mastered his senses is exclusively devoted to his practice and is full of faith, attains the knowledge. Having had the revelation of the truth, he immediately attains the supreme peace in the form of God realization. Shloka 40. Agnyascha अज्ञश्च श्रद्दधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परः न सुखं संशयात्मनः अज्ञः च अश्रद्धधानः च संशयात्मा विनश्यति न अयं लोकः अस्ति न परः न सुखं संशयात्मनः. Samshayatmanaha is a person who always doubts things, right? So that's not good. I mean, right? He who lacks discrimination is devoid of faith and is at the same time possessed by doubt is lost to the spiritual path. For the doubting soul, for the doubting soul, there is neither in this world nor the world beyond, nor even happiness. Shloka 41. योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणं ज्ञानसञ्छिन्नसंशयम् आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय. योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणं ज्ञानसञ्छिन्नसंशयम् आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय. Almost same as the shloka padavibhajana. So 41. Arjuna, actions do not bind him who has dedicated all his actions to God according to the spirit of Karma Yoga, whose doubts have been dispelled by wisdom, and who is self possessed. Shloka 42, last shloka of this chapter. तस्मादज्ञानसम्भूतं हृत्स्थं ज्ञानासीनात्मनः छित्त्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भारत. तस्मात् अज्ञानसम्भूतं हृत्स्थं ज्ञानासिना आत्मनः छित्त्वा एनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठ उत्तिष्ठ भारत. Meaning of Shloka 42. Therefore, Arjuna, slashing to pieces with the sword of knowledge, right? So, Jnanasina is the sword of knowledge. Chitva means the slash it, right? Born of ignorance, establish yourself in the Karma Yoga in the shape of even-mindedness and stand up for the fight. Uttishta here means stand up for the fight. ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे ज्ञानयोगो नाम चतुर्थोऽध्यायः. It's also named as Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga in some places. Thus, in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the scripture of yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, ends the fourth chapter titled The Yoga of Knowledge, as well as the disciplines of action and knowledge. Om Shri Paramatmane.